Hey YouTube! If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. If you guys are coming back, welcome back. My name is David and today I'm giving you guys another episode of One Piece, 5 minutes, where we talk about the fundamentals of One Piece in hopefully under 5 minutes to help you win more games, have more fun, and play more comfortably when playing One Piece. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about Dawn management, but before we get started, just remember, keep in mind that everything here we talk about is a concept, and when it comes down to the actual games and the nitty-gritty, everything is a little bit different because all the leaders, all the characters, every situation, every player is different. So when it comes down to it, it's up to you to apply these concepts and play better through that. Your situations will be different than the ones I'm describing. We're gonna go over a few different situations in a few different decks, so let's just get started. We're gonna start off with a Luchi situation where your opponent just played an ace on their 5 Dawn turn. This is the ace that has to be KO'd or removed twice for it to actually be able to removed. So we are at our 6 Dawn turn. In a hand, we have Kaido, Gecko, Jack, Rob Luchi, Helmeppo, and Ice Age. We have Brook on the field, and we have our leader, of course. So there are 2 different ways that you can go about actually removing this ace. So one, you can tap 1 for Ice Age and then save 4 Dawn for Rob Luchi, and then attaching a Dawn to Brook to actually get a swing to go through. But that is entirely up to you if you want to use your Ice Age now, because here we don't need to use our Ice Age. Now, what we can actually do here is you save 2 Dawn for Helmeppo and then 4 Dawn for Rob Luchi. What we do is we swing a 5 here so that we can -1 to ace. We tap 2 to play out Helmeppo to -3 here, so he's at 1. We swing to reduce him and try to pop him from 0. Clearly he's going to -2, and then we can play out our Rob Luchi to actually remove the ace. Now that is an alternative route because we could have just done Ice Age instead of Helmeppo and then gotten an extra swing out. But again, saving this Ice Age for the bigger bodies may be very, very helpful because next turn, let's say your opponent drops a Beckman. What you can do is just Ice Age, Jack. That gets their 7 down to a 2, and you can simply just use Jack to pop it, or you can even go leader swing, Brook swing, and pop a 7. So when it comes down to things like that, you really spend your time at the beginning of your turn trying to think of the different ways that you can answer your opponent, how much Dawn it's going to take you, and what it actually means for your next few turns. It's always really, really good to think ahead in turns because if you know what your opponent's deck is like, you kind of know what they want to play, what they're probably going to play, and their goal in the game. It even comes down to simple math like Nami. Let's say we're playing Nami, we have a 10 Dawn turn. In hand, we have 2 3-cost blockers, 2 2-cost events, and a 1-cost event. Pretty much what you want to do in this situation is, hey, I'm going to save 5 Dawn for countering, which leaves me with 5 Dawn for this turn. I can either play out a blocker to draw 1 card for 3, and then have 2 Dawn to spare. I can use that to swing at a body on board, or actually just save it in case I do end up drawing more counter events. But it all comes down to just kind of planning your turn around your Dawn and kind of just like even just literally taking your Dawn, stacking it out into like, okay, there's a character, and then 2 Dawn to spare. This is literally what I do as Dofi. Then we have situations like Bonnie. Let's say we're on our 5 Dawn turn. If Cavendish is a 5-cost that returns 2 Dawn to us, you have to make sure you have 5 Dawn to play him. You can't play him on 3 Dawn. So what you want to do is remember your sequencing. Like, hey, if I have 5 Dawn now, I can play out Cavendish, rest 3 Dawn and have 2 up. Save 1 for my leader ability and swing 6. Or even if you have maybe a searcher, you can use that, have 5 Dawn, still get off a search that you set up for last turn, and then still have 1 Dawn active for your leader ability. There's characters like that where even Cavendish can be really good when paired with Doflamingo. Let's say you drop 10 drop Doflamingo, used up all of your Dawn, you have no Dawn left, you swing Cavendish. 2 Dawn restood. Save 1 for leader ability, a swing a 6. And then you have this for leader ability. Cavendish is busted because of things like that. Or even if you're at 10 Dawn, and your opponent thinks, oh, there's no way he can play, 2 really good bodies, Cavendish, Cody Jones. Boom, because this technically only cost you 3 Dawn. Just some scenarios where a character like Cavendish can be really good and really complicate your Dawn planning because you do have to plan like, oh, I have extra Dawn after I swing with this, after I play this, so I have to keep in mind and account for that. So, you know, do I swing with this first? Do I swing with it after is very important, because that really kind of helps you kind of figure out where your Dawn is going to be active, where your Dawn is going to be rested, and how you can use it to play different characters or even play around your leader ability. Then we have characters like in Luffy, like Luffy Taro. Luffy Taro in a lot of purple decks have effects where they minus Dawn from your board if you're not familiar. And Luffy Taro's ability is, hey, so let's say we're on our 8 Dawn turn, right? We play out Luffy Taro for 7 Dawn. We minus one of those 7 Dawn to play out, let's say, Nami blocker. Some people might think, oh hey, I was at 8 Dawn, but you have to remember and take into account when you're planning your turn that you minus 1 Dawn. So now you're actually at 7, so Nami does not trigger, which sucks because at the same time, Usohachi has the same card ability. So if I was to play Usohachi instead of Nami to try to rest a blocker to swing for game, wouldn't work because I'm at 7 Dawn. It can even come down to more complex scenarios or situations with things like Doflamingo. So let's say we have a teach established on board. Let's say we're on our 9 Dawn turn. What I want to do is, with my hand of 2 Jozus, a Sengoku, and a Buggy, and a Croc, I do want to play Sengoku 100%. So we're going to save 1 Dawn for Sengoku. And then, hey, maybe I bounce it back with Jozu to play out Sengoku again. So 2 Dawn for Sengoku, 6 for Jozu, and then we have 1 Dawn to spare that we can use with Teach to play out maybe Croc off of our leader ability. What we can do is, instead of playing 6 Dawn for Jozu, we actually just play Croc, rest 1, and bring back Sengoku off that to see what we get based on what we pull off the original Sengoku. So let's say we start off by playing 1 Sengoku, rested Dawn. Let's say we grabbed Weevil. That is really, really good, and that's actually something we can play off of our Teach, because I'd rather play that than play Crocodile. Let's say I would maybe rather establish 2 bodies on board while having more Dawn and maybe try to swing bigger with my leader. So what I'm actually going to do is rest 4 Dawn to play Crocodile and use Crocodile's ability where I rest 1 Dawn and bounce 1 character of a 2 or less back to hand to grab Sengoku. I'm going to play out Sengoku and grab Jinbei from my deck, which is even better because now instead of swinging a 7, I get to swing an 8. Now it's 1k difference, but 1k does make a big difference in a lot of games. So teachability, play Jinbei, play Weevil. We just got 3 bodies out on the board. Now when it came down to that play, the only real difference was 1k in power. Because at the end of the day, we can actually still play out the Jinbei, still play out the Weevil, regardless if we played out the Jozu or the Crocodile. So it might be better at the end of the day to get the Jozu out, but I really wanted to just kind of show you guys the different ways that you can do it. So it's really like, do you think that the 8 will connect versus the 7? Or is it more worth to get the Jozu on board? So it really depends, and I leave that up to you to decide. Lastly guys, we're going to talk about Dawn math. So first, we're going to look at our characters and their power. So this is technically an 8k power because of its ability, which gives it plus 2k when you trash a life, 9k on Gecko, and let's say our leader's at 7k. So we have a 9, 8, 7, and then we have 10 Dawn. So when you add all of that up, we get 34. So what you do is you add up 34 divided by the number of characters you're going to swing, and it kind of gives you an idea of how much to kind of swing out. So we're going to do 11, 11, 12. That's just the math. That's 34 divided by 3. It's a decimal, so we can go down 1, so it's 11, 11, 12. Super easy math, and that's just to kind of swing out and kind of get the best optimal damage against your opponent, just even swings. Anyways guys, I really hope this video helps. It was a bit of a long one based on the time that I'm seeing on the camera when it comes down to the beginners that really think at surface level, where you can kind of play around your Dawn and kind of map out and be like, hey, I have 4 Dawn to play a character and then I have 2 extra Dawn. What do I do with it? I can swing with it. I can play around maybe what I pull off of hand, what I can, you know, get out of life if my opponent swings at me, if it's a counter event. There's so many different things that you can do. Saving that Dawn, or you know, even just using it to get some pressure in, you know. Let me know in the comments below. This was actually kind of a confusing video for me, so let me know in the comments below, or let the other viewers in the comments know, just kind of like help them out with Dawn management and kind of what they can do to kind of improve on that, or just kind of ideas that you have come up with to help you plan your Dawn a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Stay tuned for the next video, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.